Welcome back, everyone. My name is Reed Blakemore. I'm the Director of Research and Programs at the Atlantic Council Global Energy Center. We're here once again at the Global Decarbonization Accelerator at COP28, doing another episode of our Live from COP series to think through who's coming to COP, what we're trying to accomplish, and importantly, what the road beyond COP looks like. This time I'm with Marco Alvera, the co-founder and CEO of Tree Energy Solutions. Marco, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Reed. Great to be here.
So we're just kind of getting the ball rolling now at COP, right? A lot of road ahead of us. Talk to me about Tree Energy Solutions, why you're here, and how you hope to see the next few weeks unfold.
So we're very excited about what we're doing. We are converting green hydrogen, which as we know, or a lot of us know, has a lot of issues with it, into something that we can use immediately, into called e-fuel. We call it ENG, electric natural gas. So it's essentially a hydrocarbon, identical to fossil gas, but it's completely renewable, made from solar and wind. We think this cracks the code for a number of problems with the energy transition. It makes the energy transition a lot cheaper because you're using existing infrastructure to distribute this. It makes it much more scalable quickly. And if we scale it quickly, it becomes even cheaper because we lower the cost of the manufacturing of this equipment. So that's really why we're here, to spread with policymakers, with governments, with companies, really the sense that there are solutions available now. We need to get on with it. That's why we love the call to action of this COP in particular. Just get on with it and scale it up and get going.
It's a solution that's available now. So how do we actually put it in play more effectively? What do we need to do over these next couple of weeks to really, set the Efuels agenda, kind of build that ecosystem of partnerships?
So my job is to have many of these conversations across. Media has a very important role to play in spreading a positive message. Of course, the climate has some catastrophic events that we see, but we have to have a call to action. That action is possible. We need to focus on the lower hanging fruits. And in our case, we need to focus on getting partnerships in place, building these factories, let's call them, of electric natural gas. You could do the same with electric aviation fuel. You can do the same with electric diesel. We think electric natural gas is the cheapest of e-fuels. So in our case, the job is to get the ball rolling and build a momentum. And as we build the momentum, build one project after the other. At the end of the day, it's only projects that are going to change it. And we need to get project delivery. We need to close the gap between the ambition that keeps growing and the action, which is really lacking. And only projects that are bankable will be built. So our job is to make a project, make it bankable, find the customers, align the supply chain, and move on to the next project.
So I think you're in the right place then to find the partnerships, find the customers, and get that ball rolling. After COP28, I mean, we got a busy period in front of us, a lot of work to do to build that action-oriented solution. How does after December 13th, what does the next year look like in Tree Energy Solutions, but also in the broader e-fuels space? How can we build an on-ramp out of COP for e-fuels?
I think there's a lot of initiatives that have been launched, that are being launched. We were just now with Secretary Kerry at the Mission Possible Partnership. There are companies that are aligning around specific objectives, and that's what we need. We need governments who can't pull this off alone to help companies collaborate a little more. We need to build these supply chains. It sounds like a vague term. It's really pragmatic. Just to give you an example, cost of solar energy went from $1,000 per megawatt hour to $10 a megawatt hour because China built these massive solar factories. The cost of oil today is about 50 euros a megawatt hour. So in very sunny places, we can make ultra cheap energy. We call it PPWS. Put the panels where it's sunny. PPWS. So that problem is solved. Now, to make the e-fuels cheaper than oil, we need to really bring down the cost of these electrolyzers. An electrolyzer is a machine where you put in water, you put in electricity, and you get hydrogen out. The electricity separates the oxygen from the hydrogen. So H2O becomes O and H2, as simple as that. Now, this machine could cost $200 per kilowatt. It's now costing kind of 800, 900, sometimes even 1,000. So as I lower that cost, then I can make green fuels compete with fossil fuels. So that's where governments should focus. That's where I'm spending my time, talking to suppliers, trying to organize this supply chain.
And especially, when you talk about the primacy of building supply chains, that's a huge kind of undercurrent to how we talk about a lot of these energy transition issues. And one where I think you would agree, government has a role to kind of support the creation of those supply chains. It's an area where it sounds like you already have a lot figured out. It's just a matter of combining people together.
And let's be open about it. China has figured it out because they've built their supply chains in a very top-down industrial policy driven way. The IRA is a great stimulus on the other end of the spectrum. It's a free market kind of, I'll give you a tax break and you figure it out. I think we need a combination of both systems to work. But what is really good is that there's now a race to the top between China and the US and Europe on these technologies. And when you get that type of race to the top, then the benefit spreads to the rest of the world. So I'm very optimistic.
I think a race to the top that benefits the world is exactly kind of what we're trying to do here. So with that, Marco, thanks for joining us today. Everybody, we'll be back with another live from COP throughout this 2 weeks.